Hello and welcome everyone to episode 178 of One Piece at a Time, the One Piece read-through podcast where we read and discuss 5 chapters of the One Piece manga each and every week. I'm your host, Derrick, and I'm joined by a wonderful co-host and freelance letterer, Brandon Bovia. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm, of course, Brandon Bovia, freelance letterer extraordinaire, and I kind of think this is a special moment because we are technically ending an arc this week, one that we just started. And we only have, hold on, 1, 2, 3, we have 5 arcs left.
Oh my god. That's
feel
weird
that
to
way,
think
does
about. No, it doesn't. It does not feel that way.
Well, when you think about it, we have 4 complete arcs left because the current one is still ongoing. So that's even weirder.
It's hard to even classify most of this section as Zoe because it's just all over the place. That's the thing that struck me is just this like thing, just
big
all over the place. It's like there was like we were just not staying in one place at all. So it's just like what is happening?
It's hard to really on the one hand, this is the end of Zoe, and it's not really the beginning of Whole Cake quite yet. We are still kind of in that transition phase, and Oda is just taking that time to go like, all right, we're gonna hit everything. So I do love me some subplots, and we got quite a few of them to cover here.
We have a lot of subplots to cover. It is subplot the section, I guess, the episode.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That's really what I come down to is just we're all over the place, and Oda continues to just throw my expectations for a loop.
Yes. I'll be curious to see what you mean by that.
Yep. That's kind of just the best way to put it. And you know what? I'm down. Let's see what kind of crazy ideas he has. I've seen so many people excited for me getting to Whole Cake.
Right. Yeah, I've been seeing the comments like, oh man, people are really excited for us to get to this. So.
Yeah. I wonder how people will feel about us getting to Wano. It's just like, boy.
Oh, yeah.
It's starting to make sense why that arc is so long.
Right, because we already set it up here.
We haven't even started introducing new characters. It's just, hey, here's a bunch of characters going into Wano that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Oh, boy. But you know what? Let's get into it. There's a lot to talk about, and let's begin with chapter 821, Understood, where we have another color spread where it's designed like a classic woodblock painting, and
yes,
Oda playing his hand as far as our stars of the next arc, other than Momonosuke, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think this is the one where, like, if maybe you weren't, like, the biggest fan of, like, Gear 4 from a design standpoint, seeing it here, I think, is where it clicks. Where you kind of understand what Oda's going for, is sort of like the giant, like, Buddha statue almost. Like,
almost godlike.
The pose makes sense now.
There's a lot of fun posing here, and just the design of a lot of the characters. It's funny how we have these classic woodblock looks for everybody, but not Dogstorm or Cat Viper. They're just sort of normal.
Yeah. They just look like One Piece characters.
even Kanjuro is kind of just more like, this is the most natural he's ever looked, I'd say.
Yes. Same for Pedro, who he has one of my favorite poses in this one, but we have a fun mix of classic Japanese art and One Piece.
my 2 favorite bits are just Brook in general, just how he has that. It looks like something out of Muramasa. Is how how
my
he's
god,
posed.
you're so right.
And then the fact that freaking Kinemon is cross-eyed.
Yeah.
For no apparent reason. It's just funny.
I feel like this one's really just Oda flexing like his art skills. Like, this is the kind of thing you would never see in the manga itself. But
no.
You can tell he wants to get to Wano like so bad.
Oh yeah, he does. But we landed last time with Jack enacting his whole plan to just take out Zoe, take out Zunesha, And boy, doing that is certainly having some effects as buildings are houses are collapsing. People are grabbing on the trees for dear life. Like
it's like
there's
an earthquake.
a reaction. Yeah, there's something going on here, and that's when both Momonosuke and Luffy start hearing a voice, just shouting out, "If you're there, do it quickly." And it's like, it's the voice, and what's wrong? It's like, you don't hear that? It's like, wait, you too? Who are you? It's the loudest voice I've ever heard. It's like, what is going on here? And it's not the first time we've heard this from Luffy, but man, it is loud.
Yeah. God, I have feelings on this. This is very much, like, we're kind of building off of stuff that we established in Fishman Island.
Yes.
I do think I'll wait a little bit longer before I extrapolate on that. But like, this should immediately kind of get your alarm bells. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, this feels familiar. But yeah, we see the plan of how they're doing it. They're basically just taking them out one leg at a time, or
they're just gonna bomb it.
Yeah. As Jack says, even an ordinary elephant panics over a single bee. If this thing's really been alive for a millennium, the skin's got to be old and decrepit. It's just a feeble old geezer, so this is more than enough firepower to take it down. And it's like, yeesh.
Yeah, I think the thing for me, because God, his monologue here, where he's basically like, once we keep shooting this thing, I'm gonna finish it off for good. I can pluck out its eyes, cut off its tongue, and I'm just like, bro, calm down. It's an elephant.
Yeah, right. I think it even concerns Jin Rummy here. She's like, what the hell? It looks like
right. So kind of like, bro's he's a little too much,
just going all out for it. And that's when Zunesha very obviously is like, give me the order if you're there. And Luffy's like, what do you mean order? Explain. Who are you? What are you talking about? Everybody's else like, who the hell are you talking to, Luffy? What is going on here?
And that's the interesting thing too, as we're kind of seeing, right? Like, there's clearly, like, both Luffy and Momonosuke can hear the voice, but like, it's not responding to Luffy. In the same way, again, talking about Fishman Island, it felt very similar to that, where he could hear the Neptunians, but like, it was very one-sided, as opposed to the sort of like seemingly kind of two-way communication that
Shirahoshi.
Shirahoshi, that Shirahoshi had with it. And like, we just get that straight up here. First, Dogstorm and Paige over here, they're kind of like, I heard the Gold Roger and Odin had the same thing happen when they visited. They could hear a voice, but they couldn't have a conversation with it. And then you see, like, Zunesha, like, beams its vision into Momonosuke.
Yeah.
Like, holy
it actually opens its eye. It's the first time we've seen Zunesha's eyes, and it's freaky.
Yeah, it is. It is a little freaky, actually.
And the way its eyes are designed, it's kind of like one of the eyes from Naruto.
yeah, very much so. Very kind of Rinnegan looking.
Mm-hmm. And that's when Momo, with him beaming his vision, Momo's like, oh, it's Jack. Jack is attacking the elephants with 5 ships at 9:00. So Jack is alive. And they're like, how do you know that? It's flowing into my mind. And Zunesha just goes, it hurts. If I collapse, you are all in danger. So Dogstorm's like, get the ships. We got to take out Jack. We got to protect Zunesha. And that's when he's like, this confirms it. The person talking to me is Zunesha. Like, what is going on here? And he basically is just relating everything Zunesha's telling him, whereas like he says, long ago the elephant committed a crime, and ever since it has only been allowed to walk. It must continue following its orders. Therefore, it needs permission just this once to fight, because it's not allowed to. Which raises a lot of questions about who the hell is punishing this thing?
Yeah.
Why is this a punishment?
I mean, the concept of Zoe and Zunesha right from the start, that it is this being that is even from before the Void Century, right? Like, that this is something even further back than that, and that I feel like it is sort of lighting up your sort of like your sense of wonder and your sense of adventure, like just that there are things in this world that like are kind of beyond even your understanding, and that clearly something happened here. And like that's the thing that just gets my imagination. Like, what happened to this elephant? How did it receive orders originally? Like, what did it do? You know, what crime did it commit? Why is it being punished? And why is it just being forced to walk? And that it sort of like understands that, like that sort of it gives Zunesha a much more kind of somber. You feel kind of bad for it, right? It gives it kind of a darker outlook. Interestingly,
it's already felt somber this entire time, but that extra layer of it carrying all this stuff in its back and just the way it's moving, you can see the way things are going. It's almost like the city. I almost feel like the city itself is its punishment of having to carry this thing from place to place, but somehow it still needs permission, and that's. Again, how do you keep something that's this massive in line like that? That is, to me, is the big question there.
Yeah, and that to me, that gets to me like the idea of like control, I guess, because again, going harking back to Fishman Island, where like Shirahoshi can control and command the Neptunians, so it's like what was controlling or commanding this thing? Is that also an ancient weapon? Let alone like the connection clearly that the Kozuki clan has to this.
Yes, and that's the other thing I was going to bring up is like are we going to get revealed that Momonosuke is another weapon,
right?
Considered in the same way, since he can talk to. Technically, he could command Zunesha to do whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because as we see here, it's just like, I need the order, give me the order. And that's when Luffy's like, hey, I think your voice will reach it. Mine doesn't. If the elephant goes down, we'll all sink. So, you got to try. And he's like, but I can't possibly shout loud enough. It's like, just yell. The elephant is dying. And that's when Momonosuke just like, don't give up. Don't collapse. Drive Jack away. And that's all we get is understood. And it's just like, oh no.
And that shot of Zunesha looming over Jack's ships. This whole sequence actually is like some of my favorite art, I think, in a while from Oda, in a completely different way than Dressrosa, but just seeing this massive millennium old being just like, like, all right, here it is, here's the trunk. You see it like just bearing down on Jack and his ships, and it just, you get a full spread of it. Like the build up to it is just incredible.
It's just awesome. The way it blackens out the night. Like I love how that final shot before the big connection is just blackness. Is that all that Jack can see? And boy, kaiju levels of just like scale there. And then you get the final hit. And it's just like, good God.
I kind of feel like this reveal sort of turns the world of One Piece on its head a little bit. Of just like, I think the implications of something that has been around for this long and can be communicated with and controlled by humans, I think says a lot. It says a lot, potentially, about what the state of the world might have been at some point.
It is entirely possible. What that state might be, it is hard to imagine. But it is an impressive shot nonetheless of just seeing all 5 ships decimated, sent into the flying into the distance, raining down into the ocean. You can just see everything falling there. Jack's mask breaks, and it's like, oh, they might be. Like, this is the closest it's been because we know he's a devil fruit user. Jack might be dead.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but like somehow he's going to be saved. But they are all falling into that water. So, oh boy.
I also do love in poor Jack, right? As this guy who we've built up like, oh man, he's the first character with $1 billion bounty. And in this sort of this age of piracy, in this world of pirates and fighting the 4 emperors and all that, like. He got taken down by an elephant.
A big elephant.
Yeah. It's just kind of like there are things in this world outside of their control still.
Oh, yeah.
You can't beat nature.
Yeah, you have a billion zeni. Yeah, it's not helping you fight this elephant. Like,
Yeah.
like it brings to mind Luffy's battle against Laboon to just say like, "Hey, I'm strong,
yes.
right?" And it's like, nah, yeah, but nobody's taking down Zunesha unless they have like
and I
concentrated fire from a lot more people. Not just one guy can do it.
Yeah, yeah, and of course it's we're very lucky that that Momonosuke was able to give the order, because I think if that were not the case, then Zunesha would have been in real danger. But yeah, boy, how's that for a reveal?
I remember it's like, oh man, how are they going to handle Jack for this last time? I don't think there's that many chapters left. What is happening with Jack? And then done. Like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Just get that again. Do it.
Cut into expectations.
Yep.
That being said, I love how Oda dedicates just a single panel to just Frankie's hair comparing to the tree.
Yes.
Just randomly.
That's great. He was really proud of that.
Mm-hmm. But everything is calm. Zunesha has sank Jack's fleet, as Momonosuke is putting out there. And yeah, Dogstorm's like, oh boy, I never even considered that Zunesha had a will of its own, much less that could communicate with us. And that whole, even just communicating like that has knocked Momonosuke out. He is asleep.
Oh, yeah, which I would imagine is just very stressful. Yeah, and of course, it's interesting that Kinemon, he's like, did Lord Odin even know about this power of Lord Momonosuke's? Clearly, it seems inherited.
Yeah.
I think...
Well, the funny thing is, it's even a step beyond what Odin was capable of, because they said that neither Roger nor Odin was able to communicate with Zunesha. Mm. They could hear it, but they couldn't talk to it.
It makes me wonder too about timing, right? Because I think that there was that bit during Fishman Island where like they were basically waiting for Shirahoshi to be born, right, or something along those lines.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah, so it was so like there might be something on that level of we need kind of the right person at the right time to kind of inherit this ability, which is just I think if the ability to communicate at least with Zunesha is like kind of an inherited, or the kind of the hearing the voices, much like Gold Roger, if that's like part of the bloodline. That combined with the fact that we now know that they made the poneglyphs is like Kozuki clan. They've been busy.
Yeah, they have been.
They've got secrets. They seem to be connected to kind of the deepest, darkest parts of this world.
So they're all standing around trying to figure out what the heck just happened, what it all means. Realizing that, oh man, Joe is not that safe.
He's not safe anymore. Yeah.
And Luffy has already just grabbed the giant bag. He's like, hey, wouldn't it be crazy if Zoe's on our side? And good luck with that, doing all that. But we're about to take off, so give us a bunch of food.
I love how he just drops it. Like, would that be crazy? He's like, yeah, that would be, wouldn't it?
But we end off on an island in the New World where a transponder snail is activated. And it says, we've lost our connection with Jack. It cut out abruptly while he was at sea, Kaido. And looking at that snail, it is very obviously emulating Scatman Apu, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. And that is sort of our hint, because when we first got introduced to Kaido, it was he landed with the Pirate Alliance with him and Kid and... Mm-hmm. Oh God!
Fortune teller
Hawkins,
yes.
There we go.
Which
I got it.
I think there's some implications there, especially considering what we see later on in this set.
Yeah, everybody kind of seems to was given an option, and Apu's option was to drink the Kool-Aid.
maybe that's okay. I had a different interpretation. My thought was Inside Man.
Oh. It could be either or.
Yeah, we'll see when we get to that other spot. But man, Kaido knows all. I'm curious how it's going to balance. Oda's going to balance his suicidal tendencies with the sheer amount of power and influence he has.
Yeah, definitely.
I have no idea there, but yeah, that's Bye, Jack.
Yeah, that was it. Hey.
I don't know what it was. It's so funny to have like a billion berry bounty guy around, and he barely affects the present day. So
We can go ahead and put Zunesha at the top of the pecking order.
yeah.
Power scalers are in shambles.
We do have an SBS. Curious about Perona. She is currently 25 years old, 5'3". She was 23 when the Straw Hats fought her, and Moria took her in when she's a child, so she looks up to him like a father. And she actually still believes he's alive out there somewhere today, just after the disappearance of Paramount War, which that is still a lingering question, is what happened to Moria.
Oh.
That never got answered, despite, it being Doflamingo, the one that taken out.
Yeah, that's the funny thing too, because even I remember after that, they were like, "Oh, he might have escaped." Doflamingo was like, "I don't care." It's like, well, what do you think you're doing, bossing me around?
Yeah,
so, we'll see if anything comes of that.
Yeah,
I think I remember. I don't know when it is.
Okay, I mean, I would have to imagine it can't. It'd be a weird thing to have lingering on until even now that nobody knows what happened to Moria.
Yeah, it's weird because he's a warlord.
That is a warlord, and we have 300 odd chapters until that point. That's plenty of time to get just a panel about. Oh yeah, this is what Moria's up to.
Oh yeah, this is what Moria's up to. Yeah.
That's
also really interesting when you think about it too. Like, we're in the time skip, and there's actually still, it feels like a bunch of characters we still have not touched base with at all.
Yeah.
Despite touching base with a whole bunch of them this week.
For sure. And I the rest of the SBS is just what would win, King Punch or Happiness Punch. Happiness Punch. Nobody ever forgets the Happiness Punch.
No, truly unforgettable.
Yep. And then just how this Gambia has really stood out to people, apparently.
I would not have clocked that at all if not for this SBS. It's like,
yeah.
Who are you?
Some member of Bartolomeo's group. Oh, that's all it is. I don't know. Whatever.
They're all freaks. Freaks.
But let's go ahead and move on to chapter 822, Descending the Elephant. And Brooks' old managers are not happy seeing his new bounty.
They're just ripping it up. Yeah, just knife right through it. They're mauling.
How dare.
Yes.
Oh, well, tough luck. It's funny actually seeing one of these when somebody's not happy about the straw hats.
Yeah, right. When you think about it, like, Brooke was a whole pop star, and then he just dipped.
Pretty much.
That man had a career.
Also, I would love to know where the hell they got the resources for what they do in the beginning of this chapter, where they successfully bandage wrap Zoe's leg. Not named Zoe, but Zunesha's leg.
Yeah.
Like,
that.
Wow.
Must have been, I don't know, several miles worth of bandages. Well, I mean, I love, even Chopper's like, it's going to be quite an ordeal to change out the bandages.
So they have more of these. That's the insane part of that. I do like how we have context for where Chopper was and why it was so important. That was like what kind of medical knowledge they had. So the Birdie Kingdom is like a masters of herbology. So it's nice to have a little extra content there where he's mixing.
Yeah, it feels like a mix of, it's like modern medicine with folk medicine almost.
Yeah, to a degree. So yeah, just cool stuff all around there, and got them all patched up, and ever since knowing like, oh, he has a conscience, we got to take care of him. We want to make sure he's comfortable.
Yep.
Give thanks to him. But it also leads to the question is like, every life must come to an end, and if it does have a will, then I have a wish to ask it a question. For these 1,000 years, what have you been walking toward?
Yeah,
and that's a good question.
Just those questions just about Zunesha and its past really do I don't know, that it really just lights that sense of adventure in me. And I really like that there's this question of like, yes, we've been living on this thing for 1,000 years, but like I don't know, there's something very real about like, no, our home actually does have like kind of a time limit on it. You know, we were comfortable, but like we actually have to think about these things too.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever want to consider, like, you know, like what would happen to Zoe, you know, if anything were actually to happen to Zunesha, but like, you know, I think that sort of concept that, you know, potentially, you know, nothing lasts forever, and I think it's a really interesting question in the context of the story.
It's also the second time that's happened with us, where a city has a sort of a time limit, because Water 7's the same way.
Yeah.
So
I don't
know if that's leading anywhere, but it's interesting that Oda's done it, you know, more than once.
Yeah. Oh man. All I will say is that like it is really weird that there's a whole continent in the middle of the world that just has like one dinky little like castle on it. So every time this question of like, where do we live? I'm like, just kill all the rich people.
Yeah. Truth. But now it's time to start the departures. Luffy's ready to go. Everybody's getting ready to go. It's not safe. I got to figure out what to do. And the groups are breaking up. You know, how is everybody going? And right off the bat, because of this encounter with Zunesha, Momonosuke wants to stay on Zoe. You know, I like, what is it? Why was my voice able to reach it? Does it know something about the clan? What's all going on here? And Kennymon's like, oh, the people are waiting for us, so what do we do about this? And Darkstorm was like, no, I think it's necessary to protect Zoe from Kaido, so we're not going to all just go into Wano all at once, so I'm going to remain here and bring him with me when it's time for me to make my appearance in Wano. So that's our 4 parties set, where Darkstorm and Momonosuke are going to stay in Zoe. Cat Viper is off on his own to do a search for Marco of the Whitebeard pirates. Zoro and the rest of the Straw Hats and are going with Kinemon and Law to Wano. And of course, Luffy and Peckham's and his group are going to Whole Cake. So
man, this really is like
things are moving.
we've converged, and now we're splitting off into multiple objectives, which is also, I had kind of forgotten that, like, we do kind of we have to figure out the whole Marco thing.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about Marco. That's it seems like the part that can easily be forgotten the most, just because Cat Viper's off on his own. Nobody's really going with him. It's just like, get us reinforcements at some point.
Yes. And I don't know if there's really anything to make of the I don't know if we'll ever double back to what's going on with Zoe once we
I doubt it, honestly,
split up. So it really is just kind of like, all right, you know, take half the Straw Hats and Law to Wano, take the other half to Whole Cake. and then we're gonna double back around once we figure out the whole Cake thing potentially.
And all the samurai are going to Wano as well. So I can definitely see a sort of, oh man, I can see post Whole Cake that Wano is almost like Namek for them, where they get there and they have to survive Wano until Luffy and the others arrive.
Yeah.
Or you could throw me for another loop where it's just like, no, we're gonna wait for Luffy.
Well, I mean, it's clearly like people will be making moves, you know, like the thing. I feel like this section of the story is very much things are kind of rolling one into another, as if there weren't enough things happening all of the time in One Piece. We have our core group now splitting into 4.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how little the Straw Hats have been together in the grand scheme of things ever since ever since getting separated in the first place, really. Yeah.
We had. I feel like even in Fishman Island, once they split up, like they were kind of together for the final battle, but like they weren't doing a whole lot together. And I feel like even Punk Hazard, you know, they weren't as one unit. And I feel like that there's definitely some qualms and maybe some frustrations that people have with that, but I do think it is a good way to kind of to keep multiple threads kind of going at once.
It keeps multiple threads going at once. It also makes sure that no character goes into the background. Like, this was their section to really stand out and be the highlight. Now it's the other side's time to highlight. It's a nice way to not have to figure out how the hell to have 9 people have important things to do at all times.
Yeah, and I think, you could argue one way or another for, like, some of how some of that has worked out. I am really excited for Whole Cake because it really does feel like Luffy and the Straw Hats who kind of need a little love.
For sure. We also learned that Frankie can easily make transponder snails.
Yeah, which is that's neat.
Yeah,
works out for communication. Yeah.
So you got that whole idea, and Luffy goes to pick up Peckham's, and Peckham's house fell apart, and he's in the middle of the rubble. Man. Oh, yeah.
I do kind of love Peckham's characterization during this whole section. So good. It's so funny.
Sticks his head out. He's like, man, can I get some bed rest? It's like, oh, you're a turtle viper? It's like, ugh, my name is Peckham's. I've got the turtle fruit. My shell is as hard as diamonds.
And Luffy completely ignored.
Yep, does not care. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Chopper will help you, heal you up. Get on. You're coming with me. Let's go see Big Mama. He just picks up Peckham's and off they go.
Yeah, it's really cute, man. Like we have. A longtime associate of Big Mom. You'd think, and he likes to think of himself certainly as a kind of a threat. Luffy's just like, I'm going to carry you on my back.
I had to owe my life to you.
Yes.
But our party is not complete, as we hinted at, thanks to that color spread. Because Pedro appears before Cat Viper and says, hey, Sanji is this country's savior and he was abducted from within our realm. I know that it's a small team, but aside from Peckham's, the thought of not a single mink taking part in the mission would be a grave stain upon our honor. So let me join them. And that's when the Dogstorm Musketeers are like, hey, we want to join in too. It's like, no, just butt out.
Yeah. I love we get this fun little section of all of these other beings being, Wanda wants to go, Tristan wants to go, I want to be Dr. Chopper's assistant. And then it all just, I love that the Pastor Yomo is like, Nami loves to use my tummy as a bed. It's like, what's the point of that? And then they're just, all the dogs are like, I want to keep chewing on the bones of Baron Corpse. And they're like, stay out of this.
And it's just like, it comes down to, it's like, okay, I understand all of you, but we're just going to leave it to Pedro. And why? Because Peckham's is with him. Pedro's the only one capable of keeping him in check. And that's like, what is up with Peckham's?
Yeah.
There's a bit more to Peckham's than we realize.
Yeah, maybe. I'm excited for this too, because, we've just barely met Pedro, but like, he is immediately like, so sick. He's so cool.
Oh yeah, he is really cool. He has that cigarette at all times too. The bandages, I want to see what he can do.
He's a hardened man.
Yeah, in a way, he's kind of our Kinemon for this section. Like we had in Dressrosa.
Yeah, and that's also the fun thing too of on the topic of like, the Straw Hats splitting up and being into different groups. Like, we have so many guests running around with us now. Like, it is the Straw Hats, but we always have kind of like an extra couple characters hanging around, which really keeps things fresh.
Mm-hmm. You have that new person to react to their antics.
Yes, of course.
But also, I never knew this. Nami gets another upgrade to the climate baton. Usopp used pop green growth and has an augmented surface thanks to Frankie. Tool of the century, and she's able to she basically has the power pole.
yeah, from Dragon Ball, just straight up. Yeah, and I love Usopp gives the whole breakdown, and like it can extend and shrink freely. The more I think about it, the more I feel like this is really Oda like. This is my putting my Dragon Ball love into this.
Yeah, and it's basically like we need to give Nami another upgrade.
Yeah, well, I feel like if we're rolling into Emperor territory with half the Straw Hats, Nami's got to be part of the fighting force too, to some extent. So like seeing her actually like get an upgraded climate baton. And that it is like the combination of Usopp's expertise with the pop greens and the weather area devices, and Frankie's expertise. Like, and then of course Nami's just like swinging it all around, causing thunderstorms everywhere.
She's thinking of it like a magic wand, so she calls it the sorcerer's climate baton. She's all thankful. It's like, shucks. That was for the cost of materials, and she uses the Mirage Tempo to get out of it.
Of course.
But they have a group of 6. They're all loaded up. Where I love how Luffy's carrying this giant pack of food, but also Peckham's tied on.
Peckham's tied to the backpack. Yeah, and even Peckham's is like, why is he coming along? But apparently he and Pedro and Peckham's have known each other for years, so that's also interesting.
Wanda's saying a final goodbye to Nami. They've gotten quite close. And Zora's just like, hey, we know where he is. There's a pretty good chance he's just perving out and loving the idea of getting married. Usopp's like,
Usopp is like, yeah, it's just sad but true.
But we see everybody here. We see Law's group. We see Kinemon. We see Raizo, Dogstorm, Cat Viper. Everybody's saying goodbye. Gonna await you in Wano. So let's see what happens. It's the big goodbye, and Luffy's like, all right, bye. He just grabs everybody with his arm and jumps off as they're like, what?
Incredible.
Freaking out, and everybody's just like, and Pedro's like, oh God, what have I gotten myself
into? Yes.
The only ones not worried, of course, are the Straw Hats.
all the Straw Hats. Yes, absolutely. I love that this is such a nice change of pace for getting chased out of a country. Now so Luffy leaving on his own terms is like time to take the leap of faith.
But that is not the end. We get one final page where the narrator comes back. And so Luffy and his Sanji retrieval team headed for Whole Cake Island and Big Mom, the emperor whom they'd already picked a fight with. Meanwhile, on the Grand Line, in Alabasta, the Kingdom of Sand. Oh boy, Vivi is boarding a ship for the first time in 2 years. And that means, the Reverie is a lot sooner than I thought.
Yes. All this build up, all this every now and again, we've just been talking about the Reverie, but we are planting the seeds, we're seeing it, and we're going to get a little more next chapter, but like I love seeing like Vivi's like the whole like framing is like, oh, she's in such a good mood because like she hasn't been out to sea in 2 years, and so of course like you can immediately tell that she misses the Straw Hats.
Yeah. I love the excitement there, and we're gonna get more of that, but it's so good to see her.
It is it's so good to see her back. It's just like,
and have her actually talk.
Yes. Yeah, no, like she gets some proper screen time. God, it feels like the first time in forever. So
I couldn't even tell you the last time she actually had dialogue.
Yeah. Oh man.
We do have another SBS. This time, really all about Nami. Basically, like that's the second time Nami's wanted poster has been more like a centerfold pose, and it's like. Basically, the guy who usually takes photographs goes up to her and is basically like, "Hey, I'm part of this magazine. I want to get your picture for our cover. And it was making me look good, and so that's why she looks glamorous during her shots."
Yes.
And the other one is actually more interesting than I thought it was going to be because
it's kind of a dumb question, but
exactly. It's like everything about Nami in the New World is right up my alley. I'm enjoying my Nami love through anime, merchandise, figures, game DLC, and so on. So as the author, do you think it's sleazy? This is one of my main sources of enjoyment for the series, and Oda takes this as a chance to talk about it sort of seriously. It's like, I have no problems with how my fans treat my characters or interact with my characters. Any of them. It's not even just Nami. A teacher of mine said that your manga world is a product to be sold, and a real professional doesn't tell the customer who bought it how they should enjoy it. I agree with that. I agree with that philosophy. You may interpret, fantasize, and enjoy it however you wish. I'm just happy knowing you're reading. And that is something I feel like does not get acknowledged here. It's not. It's a work. It's a work of art. All that stuff. treating it by that point, but it's also very much so, as he says, it's a product. And
yeah, and I feel like saying that way can feel kind of sleazy and maybe kind of uncomfortable, but I feel like we are kind of like there's always compromise, right? There's always I do think inherently the forces of art and the forces of business are at odds, and it is the tension between those two concepts that create kind of like interesting art. So seeing it from this perspective of like understanding that, I don't know. I like that Oda is more willing to say that your like fan interpretations, not just, you know, sleazy Nami gooning or whatever, but like fan interpretations are like all entirely valid. Like, I'm just happy that you're here, and you know, you can do with it what you will.
And I think, you know, it ties into that, like Oda, like all the, he's not even just our podcast or coverage of it. It's Oda, like it's like anybody covering it, talking about it, discussing things, what have you. All the different ways make sense. And also, like, let's be honest, artists don't get paid well. But there is a stark difference between the creators of significant characters in American comic books to manga. If you are a successful manga artist, you are getting paid pretty well thanks to those deals and whatnot.
It's more like anything.
Yeah. And it's more like actual authors in the States. Comic book artists / authors do not get that same treatment.
Bottom of the barrel, like legitimately. Like
the fact that they have to crowdfund healthcare so often is such a shame. So
they don't even have rights to their characters half the time.
No, they don't. It just goes right to it. And some of these we've seen these time and time again. These characters just explode. Not all of them do, but some of them can. The one that stands out to me most recently that I had no idea about, but she just started appearing in stuff is Magic for Marvel Rivals, and I'm sure that's gotten more love and attention. So, and there's merchandise and all that stuff. So it's a shame that they're not able to enjoy, like, get at least some portion of it from the characters they create. There's not something in there, and I think there's a lesson in here. There's like, the people who make this stuff should make money. Absolutely. Especially with how popular it can get. And One Piece is definitely one of the most popular media properties out there.
Yeah. I wish more creators had the luxury that Oda has.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of the goal for a lot of these manga creators to get to that point where you get the successful anime, you have this long running stuff, all your merchandise is selling well. God, I can only imagine how much money I'm blanking on his name, but the Yu-Gi-Oh creator was making just off the card game.
Oh yeah, I would imagine. I remember feeling because he was really into like VR at one point, like really super early on, when was making like I forget that like VR painting app or whatever, but he was making like VR like 3D Yu-Gi-Oh art, and I was like, this guy is just, he's got it made. I love Takahashi.
Yeah. So I like how this weird pervy question ended up being kind of thoughtful.
Yeah, exactly.
But all right, let's go ahead and move on to chapter 823. The World is Restless.
This is the big one.
Yeah, it is. And we get to check out just, hey, what's his name? I forget his name, honestly.
Heracles.
Heracles, that's it. Got off as well along with Usopp, and he's apparently, was the Bowen Islands where Usopp was, or is it?
I think so.
Okay, so he treats it as his home. He just has a way to get off now, I guess. I suppose.
Yeah, he's just a giant Hercules beetle.
I guess so.
Although he's kind of driving it like a buggy.
Yeah, but let's get into it. Where we're at Alabasta still.
Yeah,
they're taking off, and then people are all saying goodbye, and of course here's the old man and Coda, and just saying, like, she looks excited.
Koza, I think.
Koza, not Koda. It's like, she's
I don't remember
feeling
the
like
old
a
man's
pirate
name.
again, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, she's supposed to be acting regal. God, even seeing those two again, just like, oh man, like seeing them all remark about Vivi. And it's very, I feel like, since we first got introduced to Hina during Alabasta, so it only makes sense that she would be the escort. As we're seeing why, they're going to marry Joa.
Yep. That is a big deal.
Oh!
I also love how you can see, you know who in the background.
Yeah, in the background there, Full Body and Django.
Django, yeah.
Still
offering up those
just
flowers
noticed
to her. Good stuff. But man, there is just something amazing about that artwork of her at the top, arms spread, just feeling those waves. Like, God, it just makes you miss Vivi.
This is freedom to her, right? Like, she's been, stuffed up doing princess stuff for years. And of course, poor Igaram is, freaking out like a poor old dad. It's just like, what if a great monstrous bird would appear to snatch you away? Like, what if a sniper has these wicked sights trained upon you? What if a meteorite falls upon your head? And of course, Pell here, who's, yeah, he's alive.
Yeah, he's still fine.
Kind of like, it's like, Vivi's had experience as a pirate. It's fine. And then shut up. The Navy's here. The Navy's here.
I mean, the Navy's just on the other ship. It seems to be solely Alabastan people here. But, man, Cobra really did just take a nosedive in the 2 years since.
Yeah, bro got real old.
Yeah. Well, he's still coughing and wheezing. He's got the grays coming in. And he just has this concern. It's like, ever since the day I met Nico Robin, I've had questions for the world government. And he's like, wait, about the poneglyph? He's like, yeah, I'm determined to attend this year's Reverie. I wish to learn what it was the Nefeltari kings of the distant past did to the world. And
so, there it is again, right?
I feel like that is dangerous.
That is dangerous territory, because we learned from Doflamingo back in Dressrosa, where it was like the 20 kingdoms that came together to establish the world government. It was actually just 19, because Alabasta said, like, yeah, no, we're peace out. But that is also interesting to me, because I remembered this line and I thought about it. And was waiting for this to come back up again. So in chapter 218, bear with me, it during the flashback where Robin is sort of explaining, like, I wanted to die, Luffy, you saved my life, so I'm gonna make you, accept me onto the crew. And so there's a conversation about, like, again, the conversation that Cobra's flashing back to, the too many obstacles between me and my dream. Because Robin is explaining, like, the whole concept of, like, the real poneglyphs that explain the history of the world, whereas the poneglyph that they have in Alabasta is just like, it's just about Pluton. And so there's a little line where Cobra, he's thinking to himself and he says, then why have we been ... And so he has actually been harboring doubts about wondering why we have this poneglyph, if the only purpose that it has is to explain where an ancient weapon is.
Right.
So this sort of plot line, and bringing it back up, that Chaka. Ooh, man, I'm glad I remembered that one. That Chaka's about the poneglyph. So it really is like, what is there? Is there a connection here between? I feel like there are implications, about the nature of the poneglyphs. Being made by the Kozuki. We know that they were made in Wano, and that almost knocked over my water. But they were made in Wano, and spread across all over the world somehow, and that one ended up in Alabasta, and that it is, supposedly is supposed to have been protected all of this time. So that it's interesting to me that, like, we are actually kind of getting the ball rolling on this kind of idea here that, like, Alabasta actually has kind of seemingly more of a role to play than you might think.
Yeah, you would have thought it'd be done with at this point, but no, there is more purpose there. So curious whether that's what's gonna go on there, but it's It's interesting. Well, one, it's fun that Vivi's just able to leap off the the mast like that.
No,
and land
she's
just fine.
living it up on a, like she. I'm telling you, man, it's that freedom that she's been yearning for 2 whole years, and it's just seeing that characterization from her is just like so wonderful.
And apparently it checks in on her dad, but she's also able to joke around with him because he goes, I don't, not well, if I might not last long, if only my daughter can find a husband before it's too late, cough cough. It's like, you're using your sickness to try and guilt me into getting married. He's like, hey, I got piles and piles of pictures of suitors. It's like, nope, toss them. It was
awesome.
nothing.
Vivi wants nothing to do with it.
Yep. Give her that freedom.
Yeah.
Goodness. But man, it's good to see her, and it's time to get a bit of a contrast here as
yes.
here is Rogue Town in the East Blue, and they have a hotel there for housing nobles who come to attend the Reverie every 4 years. Enjoy the stay. Where is why are they staying here if they're going to Mary Joa? I don't understand that one.
I think it's just on the way. Because this is from the Goa Kingdom, so this is
Luffy's hometown, right?
So they're basically like halfway there.
Got it. So they're just over. On the way there. And she's all dressed fancy and whatnot. I love this name, by the way. Sally Isn't-Toinette.
Isn't-Toinette, yes. And that's her whole gimmick, where she says, "It isn't bad. It isn't bad, isn't it, darling?"
This other guy, the king, apparently is rather pedestrian. A view of Gold Roger stand as the execution stand is the best it has to offer. This is King Stelly. He's like, get on my sight, trash. Which, but does that fit the Kingdom of Goa? Also, what is up with this dude's chin? It looks like he has like a hotel in his chin.
Has a hotel? This is crazy. Does the name King Stelly ring any bells for you?
King Stelly. No.
Actually, I should have said. I should have looked that up before I said anything. But I think if you don't remember, we'll get there when we get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we break it down, the countries of the world are in a restless state due to an event that happens once every 4 years in the holy land of Mary Joa in the center of the world, the Reverie. Here, at the very highest of conferences, the monarchs of 50 nations will come together, and you get to start seeing some of these kings. And oh god, we have a guy with a suspicious hat and Hitler stash. That's a bad sign. To discuss. And a guy that looks like straight out of Rasputin next to him.
Yeah, right. No. I feel like Oda is he's saying some things with these character designs.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and I'll only say this because I don't remember his name, but like there's one guy on the next page. He like his hat is just like the Union Jack, like it's just like the British flag.
Oh, that's funny. Got another guy whose beard is a clock.
Yeah, all the nobles.
There is a female leader there, but yeah. But basically, they're there to discuss and debate the world's most serious topics and agree upon a shared direction of the future. But given the prudent and cantankerous natures of the most powerful figures, the meetings are not always tranquil. And that's when we check in on the West Blue, where the Kano Kingdom is, where they're talking about Danchan Zhao. Oh no, Sai has not returned yet, so the war is over now. And it seems we will make the Reverie in times. There are so many things I need to get off my chest. And I don't know who this guy is, but something's up with that.
If it wasn't clear enough that the Kano Kingdom is China. It's China.
Yeah, it's definitely China. It's just it happens to be in the West Blue for some reason, instead of the Grand Line. But also, freaking Wapple's back.
He made his own kingdom. It's the evil Black Drum Kingdom.
In the South Blue.
He's still a hater because he's just like, oh, really, Dalton, the Cherry Blossom Kingdom. How I shall drag you down into ruin, I wonder. It's like, oh, friggin' course.
Still has his new hot wife. Still has the weird toy dog with him.
Yeah. This man really just became a whole entrepreneur.
This is gonna be, boy, that'll be interesting to see. But then, of course, we get to see the Cherry Blossom Kingdom, and
just a little bit.
Corée is going along. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's coming with her. Yeah, no, it really feels like, no, dude, the Referee's like, we're gonna get everybody.
Oh yeah, that's the fun part about the Reverie. It's all the typically we check in on people, what they're up to, but a lot of the leaders and stuff we don't really see much of again. But now we're starting to see them, especially because we have more of them now, both good and bad. But to have Dalton here, to have Wapple here, and of course, gotta check in on Dressrosa.
Yep.
And there's our King Riku and
Viola?
No, well, not Viola, but the other guy. The guy who has the King Punch.
Elisabello.
Elisabello is there as well.
Yeah, I love his. You can see the castle, the Kingdom of Proteus. It's just like a statue of him flexing.
It's so good.
Yeah,
I did not expect to like Elisabello as much as I do, but
he's
I also
kind of awesome.
He is kind of awesome. I wish I could remember his name better.
Yeah, and I love that he's just like, I turned down the battleship escort. Do you want to visit the Holy Land together? And Riku's like, everybody's treating this like a vacation.
And it's interesting because not only is Riku going, but so is Viola and Rebecca and Mancheri.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So
God, this really is like. I feel like it's so exciting because we have all of these characters in all their kingdoms, like who would otherwise have no reason to leave, and also would technically have no reason to like meet each other, but it is sort of like the Reverie is making for such an interesting B plot.
I kind of want to see Rebecca and Vivi meet so they can reminisce about Luffy.
Right? Yeah, exactly. and speaking of reminiscing about Luffy, we also have Shirahoshi.
It's like she's too scared to go up to the surface. It's like, Luffy made a promise when we meet again, he's going to take me on a walk on a real forest up on the surface. It's like, yes, he will do that. He'll take you much farther if you want. But this trip is directly upward. We're below Marijoa. So, we're going to have your brothers, the Neptune army. Everybody's going to be there. We're going to do this. And they're like, should we let this... Sure. If she's so scared, should we let her happen? It's like, no, if she doesn't come, it makes it sound as though we're saying we don't trust humans. So she has to come along.
Yeah. And it's cool. And of course, I like that Fukaboshi is like, this meeting is the greatest desire of their mother, Otohime. So like the Reverie is actually a really big deal for, the people of Fishman Island in particular. Yeah. So
it's their chance to finally be part of it and potentially get rid of the racism that's been going on for how long.
Yeah. So it's sort of nice to be reminded that there are actual stakes here. And of course that on top of all of that, we have Fujitora in the background who wants to get rid of the 7 warlords.
That too.
His whole thing for the Reverie.
Oh man.
So, this thing's going to be big.
If I have to declare anything, I don't know. I highly doubt Oda's going to weave in the Reverie stuff in between Whole Cake. It makes no sense to do that. I think Whole Cake is the whatever happens during Whole Cake is the chance for all of these countries to meet up. Like they're on their way now. It's coming close. Post Whole Cake, pre-Wano, I think that's when we're going to get the Reverie. And finally see what happens there. Maybe.
I do think, maybe. I do think, just to support your argument a little bit, I do think that Whole Cake and maybe more so Wano are really interesting as far as locations are concerned, because they are, as Emperor territory, it feels like news would not spread as easily. It feels like this is a good opportunity for while the crew is in Whole Cake, a whole bunch of bonker stuff is going to happen. Same for Wano, right? That they're not really going to be aware of all of the sort of goings on of the outside world.
Oh man, I have no idea what this Reverie has in store. Because it's been raised as such a big deal. It could just be pure politics talk. It could be pure just I don't know, just fun in its own weird way. But I have a feeling something big has to be decided here. There's too much build up for.
Exactly. I think at this point you can say that there's too much build up for this, and now that we have multiple characters with like actual active goals. Like keeping like that Cobra wants to talk to the world government about something very serious and lore related that might be a little bit of a touchy subject, perhaps.
Little bit. But we're still not done with this chapter because we've got a stowaway.
Yep.
Of course, everybody is just sort of wiped out because of Luffy's like, where's the spirit? What do we got to do here? And it's just like everybody's just like a bit more the right.
Everyone's got vertigo.
It's like everybody's wiped out.
Yep.
So Brook's soul is leaving his body. Mm-hmm. Oh God! But it's like, hey, it's like, why you guys got to show some spirit, just like her. She's fine. And
and then
there's the reveal. It's like, oh, this is why Carrot was all over the place. She gets to join for Wano. Not Wano. She joined for Whole Cake. I was like, what is her importance? It turns out, not really any importance. She's just a tag along. Like, there's nothing important about her.
She just wanted to see, and even Pedro's like, Carrot, why? And she's.
Why do I have a feeling Oda wanted a replacement for Robin?
I don't know. She has much more of a like, not so much of a Robin vibe. She's
true. I guess like, just having a second girl along.
Yeah. Maybe that's more of it. She seems like she's very excitable, and I love she's all guard chewing everybody, and Pedro's like, we got to turn around, take the ship back.
We're gonna go. He's like, no, Wanda will be furious with me. He's like, oh, so you'd rather be a bother to our saviors? We're infiltrating the lair of the Emperor, not going to sea for fun. It's like, no, I always wanted to go on an adventure at sea. Just take me with you. I'll do anything. I'll make sure not to bring cause any trouble. I brought lunch, a carrot, juice, carrot, snacks, carrot, extra clothes. And Peckham's asked, how long is that going to last you? Oh, good half day. I mean, the sea's a big place, right? And then she learns like, no, it's going to take multiple days, even going straight.
Yeah. It's sort of adorable. Yeah. That she, if all the world that she's known is Zoe, that like, she has no idea. And it really feels like, I don't know. It's like giving a 15-year-old, the keys to the car.
It does feel like that. I think we also, with this one interaction, show the other reason for bringing Pedro and Carrot along. She is tough because she spots Luffy eating that carrot and she lunges for the neck. She has him in a death grip.
It's literally like, and she's like, Luffy, rub her head real quick, and then she just immediately like switches on a vibe. So yeah, it'll be good to have her around. She's pretty tough.
Oh yeah. So Luffy's like, all right, I'm hungry. Let's eat. And it's like, oh no, we don't have Sanji for cooking.
Yeah, and this is well. I feel like this could be good, but I feel like it's unfortunate that Nami is the first to say like, I'll whip up something 5,000 berries per person.
They're like, no. We don't want to have to spend all that much. But that's when a news bird arrives and. Pedro just nonchalantly says, real big headline today. And Luffy, meanwhile, is volunteering to cook, which, that has, like, why would you let that happen? But yeah, we end off the chapter by learning that the long-rumored mystery location discovered after decades, Baltigo, the HQ of the Revolutionary Army, is already in utter ruin.
Well,
oh no.
Which I feel like that is already kind of... I feel like it was like right before we got into Zoe, where we were kind of hearing about like,
Burgess found
Burgess. Burgess, like he snuck in.
Yeah.
So just kind of immediately like in between arcs, basically like, oh, he was there and he blew it up.
Holy crap!
So,
like that is that's how strong is Blackbeard at this point.
Yeah, I feel like we are kind of hitting the point, and this is maybe like we're getting to the point now in the manga where like the side plots start really escalating, and it kind of feels like every time we learn what's going on in the world, like it's a bit like So
things are kind of like, in a way, getting worse around the world.
Yeah, and worse, not better. Certainly not better.
No. Let's just go ahead and jump into chapter 824, Playing Pirates, as we get another color spread. And this time for our koala roller coaster, which I love how dynamic it is, but also just which characters are freaking out and which characters aren't. Like, Robin, of course, is fine. Sanji's grilling. he's barbecuing.
He's cool. Yeah. This poor Nami and Chopper just freaking out. And of course, you got Frankie back there just eating like a shish kebab. He's just like, yeah. Oh, God. This is great.
So good. But, we have an immediate reaction because, like, wait, the revolutionaries got beaten? And that's when Pedro learns, is like, you're the revolutionary dragons. And he interrupts him. He's like, no, Sabo, that's my brother.
I love that throughout this whole scene, like, anytime Dragon comes up, Luffy's like, I don't care. Whatever. It's like, Sabo's in danger. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. And Luffy's like, this dragon guy next to him it's like, yeah, remember what your grandpa said 2 years ago? It's like, yeah, your father's name is Monkey D. Dragon, the revolutionary. And, here's Dragon Chief Commander of the Revolutionary Army. And Luffy's like, this is your father, remember? He's like, that's my dad?
Yeah, he doesn't care. And I kind of love that. He's just like, oh, that's my dad, huh? Yeah. And even Nami's like, why would you wouldn't be so curious, right? Like, Robin was working under the whole time.
He's like, the first time I've seen him, it doesn't look like me. And that's when I was like, that line of dialogue immediately made me wonder, is like, wait, is Luffy Dragon's son?
I didn't think about it that way, but
because he's not
kind of like
wrong, where Luffy doesn't really look like Dragon, other than the black hair.
Luffy and Garp have more in common, and Dragon feels like the outlier, and maybe that's just genetics, blah blah blah. But it does feel like there's kind of something missing here. I feel like not only the way that Luffy thinks about Dragon, but also the way that Dragon thinks about Luffy. I could be kind of down for that theory.
It's impossible, which thank God, because I think it's be such a cop out. But find out actually your father's Roger, just like Ace was. But it's like, no, there's no way, because him being a younger brother, there's no way for that to be a thing. When she was pregnant with Ace for God knows how long. There's no way. You literally cannot fit Luffy in there, so it's just impossible, unless to another woman, which I doubt that.
Yeah, it is sort of interesting how much of like Luffy's origins as a character is kind of like hidden under wraps. How like Oda keeps that stuff very, very close to the chest, and I feel like any sort of revelation, like Luffy's reaction to it here, like if Dragon rolled up and was like, Luffy, you're adopted, he'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like I don't think it would really change his outlook that much. But it is sort of interesting of Luffy as a character who just has no interest in his own backstory.
Makes you wonder what exactly is how it's all gonna go down. But but he is curious about if Sabo's okay. It of course says that through an anonymous source, the location of the Army's HQ was revealed. But by the time the Navy and Cypher Pole arrived, the Blackbeard pirates had already leveled the settlement. So who knows if he even Blackbeard captured the revolutionaries or anything like that. It's hard to say. I also love how we're gonna have our gimmick here with Carrot, where she's just constantly chomping on Luffy.
Yes, just chomping on things in general. She's biting on Pedro. It's just,
she is.
That's just what rabbits do. It's just like that's just an idle habit. I do like, thankfully, Pedro as sort of the brain cells here is like, there was no info about fatalities in the article, at least. So it would be kind of a big deal if Dragon or Sabo were captured. So we can perhaps presume that they're still alive.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I think it would be pretty goofy to reintroduce Sabo and be like, yeah, he's dead.
Of course, the entire time this is going on, we have Chopper trying to get Luffy's attention, and everybody's attention is like, hey, Luffy, thanks for cooking and everything, but is that supposed to be happening? And you look back and the entire kitchen's on fire.
It's on fire. And then something explodes and it's just, oh, the poor Sunny.
Forgot to turn off the oven. It's like, oh no, we're out of here without Frankie, without Sanji, and the Sunny's already in danger from Luffy. That is...
Yes.
I love these constant reminders of Luffy. It could not survive this trip without his crew. It's just impossible.
Yes. And that the Straw Hat crew really is, they act so well as a unit despite the chaos that really you take away one and suddenly the whole thing kind of falls apart. I do love of course, in the midst of all this chaos, it starts storming, and poor Carrot has no idea what a storm is. And then it's just kind of like, oh, the rain's gonna put out the fire. That's lucky. And of course, Nami just slaps Luffy in the face. Nothing about this is lucky.
And then now they have to deal with all the storms as we go back to Zoe to see that they've all found out that Carrot is out to sea. Like they know where she is. It's like, okay, it's this little ape guy got bought off with bananas. He's like, it's fine. Just glad I know where she is. I was more worried about her being missing. But she'll be safe since she's with Luffy's group. So, do that. And Dogstorm's getting ready to have more guards in place. And he says, I suspect that the enemy has a Viver card, but how did they get it? I only hope that the card was lost with the ships Zunesha sank. Do you think they'll come back? We must be vigilant. Indeed. And that's when we get the revelation about Jack. Because he is alive, even though he is underwater. And the reason for that is that thanks to his mask being gone, he has shark teeth. He's a fish man.
Yeah, fish man. There it is.
And now we see confirmation of what would happen because of what's his name that was in Fishman Island that had a devil fruit. The fishmen can't move.
Oh.
They can't die, but they also can't move.
Yeah, that's a really... I honestly didn't clock any of that from this revelation. Like I was like, oh, I noticed that he's a fishman, but that makes sense that due to their biology, they can at least breathe. But, other than that, he's just kind of stuck there.
Yeah, he is literally a rock. He cannot move his body. So... Mm-hmm. It makes you wonder what happened to the rest of his crew because he has a lot of other devil fruit users in there. Like, will they show up again?
Oh no, they're cooked.
They're probably dead. But which is again way more deaths than we've had in the past.
Oh yeah.
But we're not even then not done yet because in a certain land we see a drunk Kaido.
Yes.
So he learns that Jack's attempt to recapture Joker ended in failure. That puts our end to our arrangement for those smile artificial devil fruits. Then we can't make any more gifters, which is we've heard the term before.
Yes.
Where they're just like, oh no, he's a crying drunk today.
Yeah, and you just see this giant absolute unit of a man just go, ah! We said we'd make the greatest crew ever.
We said we'd make the greatest crew ever, entirely out of power users. And before that could even happen, he got worked over by a bunch of kids. Oh, poor Joker. All because you were such a terrible weakling. It's like, oh no. And that's when they say, but Straw Hat's a man of the times. If you underestimate him, and kind of takes another swig, it's like, and so it puts Luffy's and Law's wanted posters over these two guys' faces. If I underestimate him, and he takes out his spike club and just smashes those guys, it's like, then what? He's like, who do you think I am? And they got blasted away. They are gone.
They're off. Oh,
like. Oh no, he became an angry drunk.
Yes. Also, I just noticed where we are. Not that it really makes any difference, but it would make sense.
Yeah, I guess I have.
Yeah. I didn't notice. I was like, oh, okay, I got it. Yeah. Well, all in due time, but yeah,
we're definitely not in Wano.
Yeah, Kaido's gimmick is that he drinks a lot and he's very emotional.
And the more traits Oda gives the Kaido, it just, again, continues to subvert my expectations. But you also see the strength. Like, this is a dangerous man to have those attributes.
Yes. And he starts ripping in. He's like, Straw Hat Luffy and Trafalgar Law. I know what they call your generation. The little whelps proud of wiping out mere warlords of the sea, but you must realize that you've messed with my business. And then we get this interesting reveal where he's talking to somebody behind the jail cells. He's like, I bet you can warn those idiots in your generation. Run away while you can. All we were doing was playing pirates. Eustace, Captain, Kid. And we see Kid just like bleeding out, like
decimated,
dribbling down the wall. Yeah.
Kid has been defeated by Kaido, which is fascinating because one, we don't see Hawkins. Two, we saw we had Apu contact Kaido, which again makes me wonder if he sold either sold out or was already like just infiltrating. But it's interesting that they were not focused on Kaido. Their goal was Shanks.
They were Shanks. That's right. So it is the kind of thing where I feel like, again, as we kind of talked about before, like your method of survival, right? It's like you either try to beat an emperor or you join one. So I could see right at that point in time that those three got confronted by Kaido, and one tried to fight and one was like, all right, I'm in. We don't know which.
If I had to guess, Kid tried to fight first. Apu saw what happens, like nope.
Yeah. But that's also, I feel like we were wondering where kind of where some of our supernovas have ended up, and poor Kid has just been captured by Kaido, which is
he gets to be used as a demonstration because he seemed to be like the second most important of this group next to Law, based on everything we saw. So, man, just
things are heating
how it's
up.
all gonna like, but that also puts into play another character for Wano. So it's like, what's going on
exactly. And really, when you think about it, we now have Apu and Kid, and presumably, no idea where Hawkins is, but I would imagine there's a likelihood that he's...
Wasn't Drake also somehow involved with Kaido? Or was it with Big Mom?
Drake was looking... He, attacked an island that was associated with Kaido.
Right. So he has something to do going on there.
So, really, I feel like the implication that we're going to kind of get a lot of our supernovas kind of converging. There seems to be a lot going on already in Wano. So,
oh man,
things are.
But that isn't even the end of the chapter. As we go back to the Thousand Sunny, where it's now snowing. They patched up the roof, and the storm has passed. So, I kept the food safe. So now I can you get to eat my cooking. It's like, oh yay, we're starving, and just immediately hurl.
Yeah. And you see this poor, poor Nami. Rice is inedible unless you cook it.
Oh, no. What's this bitter purple stuff? It's full of fish bones, enormous, massive jam. There's something clear and sticky. It's my kitchen sink curry. It's like, what did we already do to you?
God, Peckham's in this whole section. Oh man, I love Peckham's. He wants pity.
Yes. And Luffy chomps into it. Is like, man, you guys are really rude considering I made this for you. Blah! Like, see, it's edible. Don't flip the table over. Sanji would be mad that you're wasting what is technically food.
Yes.
And then
of course
Nami checks.
Yep.
And we learn why Sanji wanted that lock for his refrigerator for so long. Luffy used all the food. A week's worth of food for everybody. He's like, I figured you'd be hungry. So he just made it all. It's just gone. Yep. And so in just the first day, the crew is under risk of starvation.
And I love, we were trying to save Sanji, and they're like, Sanji, come and save us, please.
And we're still not done because now it's time to check in on Sanji, where days later, he's on board Big Mom's ship, the one we saw before, and they're getting a flurry of cotton candy.
I feel like we are now approaching kind of the territory of Whole Cake Island, and you can already kind of see the weather is food based. We're getting close to the Tart 28, which is a whole platoon of Big Mom pirates. So it's like we're getting even our like pirate like military bases are just cakes and food.
We're gonna be having some strong theming here. It looks like. I'm curious about the explanation behind the island. But yeah, it's if as
Baron Tamago.
Tamago, that's it. It explains if this were not Mama's ship, we would suffer a bombardment. So don't be stubborn, fellow Germa. Oh gosh, was it double six?
Double six, yeah.
Yeah, German double six example, and enter the Big Mom's pirates operation. That is what your father desires. And Luffy and then Sanji just like, no. The two of us have been through for ages. I'm only going to go clear this up. It's I'm not dealing with this. And Sanji just looks cool. He
does.
You know what he reminds me of with his outfit and the way it is right now? Very much William Turner in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I definitely see it.
He has that roguish quality at the moment.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because this is our first time seeing Sanji since that flashback. And we're kind of seeing him that like his approach to the situation, like he's very antagonistic to this whole situation.
Screw all of you.
Basically screw all of you. I'm just here to do my business and get the heck out. And I love that of course Tamago goes on to say like she's aware of your business with Straw Hat and that that you worked for the restaurant in the East Blue and that she admires those qualities for you, and it's like depending on your skill she might even offer you an even better position. And Sanji's like absolutely not. I only use these hands to cook food for my companions. And he even survived a horrifying hell to gain this skill.
I'm sure they're missing my food by now. You have no idea.
No, Sanji, please help us.
And he just immediately says, I would never make a dish for the kind of people who would destroy their own partners without blinking. It's like, Peckham's. And we find out that Tamago's okay with this. He made his business personal. Beige was right, which apparently I think somebody was trying to, I forget what their explanation for the pronunciation was, but I think it's beige.
I think it's like beigey?
Beigey. Which is weird. I want to just say beige,
that's not
beigey, I guess.
Yeah, and I thought it was beige based off of the Japanese pronunciation, but beigey also makes sense. And let's just stick to one. We can stick to one just to make it less.
I'm going to attempt to go with beigey.
yeah. We'll try it. I had meant to like double check that, and I keep forgetting.
Yeah, same.
A lot of names and a lot of names to check pronunciations on.
For sure, because here comes Vito saying, "Hey, we've got a photo of Lady Pudding from Whole Cake Island. It's a gift to you. It's after all, it's hard to marry a girl you just met right on the spot." And Sanji says, "It's like that's no different from seeing her a few days ahead. I'm not getting married." He's like, "No, just take a look. This is your bride to be, the 35th daughter of the Charlotte family." And Sanji immediately freaks out. Charlotte Pudding and. Just eyes. She's hot.
Oh no, yeah. And that's the thing. Sanji was so just like, I'm not dealing with any of this business. I'm just here to clear up a misunderstanding, and I'm gonna be on my way. And then one look at her, and he's just like, which of course I feel like. Oh,
and she has a bit of a unique design too. It's not the typical Nami like design. It's.
She has like rounder eyes and kind of bigger lips.
Yeah, there's a bit of he's sort of combining a bunch of the different women there. Like I sense a little bit of Perona in there.
Yeah,
to some degree. See that. You can sort of see it mix and match, but
yeah. She's a cutie.
Yeah, I was like, all right, there's Pudding.
I am glad. I feel like there was an opportunity for Oda to be like, we're gonna get Sanji married, and I'm gonna make a real ugly woman for this one. But we must test Sanji's loyalties, so he actually does get he has the opportunity to marry a quite attractive looking woman.
Yes, that does make it interesting, especially because we did miss out on him getting to hang out with Viola more or meeting Baby Five. So we'll see how this dynamic works out. But we do have an SBS before we move on. And we get questions about what Doflamingo's favorite foods were, where he really enjoys lobster, but his least favorite is barbecue. Somebody
Just
talked
still
about
so
how
messed up. That's awful. That's so awful.
Wait, why is barbecue?
He was burned at the stake.
Oh my god! I didn't even because he says guess he has some bad memories about it. Go figure. I didn't even put that together. Oh no!
That's so horrible.
Oh. Oh no.
Yeah. No surprise there.
And then somebody noticed something else where the reindeer mink that Chopper fell in love with is also on a t-shirt worn by another mink, so he has a rival. He's like, you noticed it. It says Milky. Milky is the Madonna of the Guardians. You're correct that she's a reindeer. That's the only species of deer in which the females grow horns too. It's a chance Chopper might never get again. Think he'll make a move?
Oh, poor Chopper. He missed his chance.
Maybe I think he could come back and have a shot potentially. Yeah. I like that. I like that option's out there for Chopper.
Yeah.
And then a question about Sabo growing out his hair on one side, and it's to cover up the scar, which to him is not a badge of honor, which is a fun little detail.
Fair enough. Doesn't love it.
No,
doesn't love that nobility. I can tell you that.
Can't imagine why not. All right, time for our final chapter of this set. My God, I did not expect it to be this long on this set of all things.
Oh boy!
I think it's just because it's those. You know what it is? It's not when we get a lot of lore that we get longer episodes. That still happens. It's when we get a lot of different locations.
And we're jumping around a whole bunch.
Because there's just so much more to talk about. That's when the long episodes happen.
I hope once we start settling into the rhythm of Whole Cake Island that maybe we'll, we're never going to be sub 1 hour ever again, but,
No. Impossible. Yeah. But hope you all enjoy it.
Yeah.
But let's get to our final chapter for the set. 825 comic strip. And Nami had an effect on the old men of Witheria. They got to dress to impress whenever she visits again, and they're looking stylish.
They're hot. Yeah, this is great.
I gotta say, these old men are dressed up pretty well.
They're pretty dapper. Yeah.
Gaudy as hell, but it works.
Yeah, it works.
But I am so curious what the hell is up with the ship.
Oh, the ship singing.
The shippy, and then we got guys walking past that look straight out of Alice in Wonderland with the cards, except they're chess pieces almost.
Yeah.
What? Something is up with Big Mom's abilities. That's all I can imagine.
I do not remember when we're gonna get that reveal. I can't wait to talk about it because it's so interesting.
I am. It's so. I love how you have this crazed, suicidal drunk with Kaido and this just sugar-loving madwoman with Big Mom.
Yeah.
Both are terrifying in their own ways.
Yes, exactly. I also kind of shout out to Vito here. Like his characterization in this chapter is really fun because he's kind of just like he's like a huge mark.
Yeah, he's kind of a fanboy.
Yeah.
I used to read a comic strip in the World Economic Journal, the one called Sora, Warrior of the Sea, with that dreamy giant robot in it. Sora, the hero who can walk across the sea, teams up with the transforming robot and Seagull. It's a tale of a naval hero who risks his life to fight the army of evil, Germa's double six. It's so hard for me not to say 66.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But people love it. People love that story. From what I hear, the story was based on the true exploits of the heroes within the Navy. But it was basically propaganda. But didn't work on me because I wasn't impressed with the Navy. I liked Germa. They kept losing, but it made me want to root for them every time to put the screws to Sora. And I wonder if this Sora definitely has some part to play, I have to imagine. I
think so. I think... there are already ways I can think. There's probably ways that this will tie in. None maybe like explicit, but I feel like this will be a thing that will. This is not a one-time thing. I'm almost certain of it, or is at least like based on something that maybe there's like a kernel of truth but the Navy is like, yeah, we're going to twist this to our needs. But
very
like,
much like Jaya and
Nolan the
Chestnut
Liar.
Red. Yeah, Nolan.
Yeah, that would make sense. But also, Sanji's family are comic book villains. That's awesome.
Yeah, they are. They're that renowned, or that. Are they a thing? Hard to say. What are they like, actually, if they're being portrayed like as these villains, like in this way?
And of course, Sanji's like, I don't want anything to do with this. Even Vito's like, I'm excited to meet you in person. He's like,
tell that to them, not me. And he goes to go in a door, and it's alive. It's like, hey, open up, because it's sleeping. And it just opens up and goes, door.
Right. We have the ship saying ship. We have the door saying door. Like, this really is like a cursed fairy tale almost. It's like a warped Disney movie.
Yeah. And that's when we see a single panel about what happened to Caesar, where he's been locked up in a cage.
Yeah, well, I love it because it's a really nice room. You're just like, this is, he's Sanji's talking to Vito, like, this is my room, don't follow me in here. And then you just have Caesar like, let me out.
I don't deserve this shabby treatment. I'm a genius. Oh God, I love how Caesar's just been going through nothing but torture ever since he got captured.
Yes, it's great that Caesar is still around, because he is just the perfect gag character. He just deserves to be humiliated constantly, and I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Vito's still talking him up. He's Sanji's a different story. He's the bridegroom, so he gets the special treatment. And Sanji's still going, I'm not getting married, now get out. And that's when new guy comes out, Gotti, a hitman of the fire tank pirates who has a gun arm. Holy crap.
Yeah, which is awesome. Yeah. And it's really interesting. This whole setup is like, he's really mad at Sanji because Sanji just keeps like smack talking Vito. And even Vito's like, hey man, like, this is all cool. It's all chill. Like, again, like, I kind of really like Vito from this. Like he's just kind of like a typical mobster, but like he's got kind of a boyish charm to it.
A little bit to that. It's interesting. It's like, we're not playing around here, Gotti. Now you and Vito get lost. So it's like, all right. It's like, all right, you've done it. I don't care about myself, but I won't forgive any man who insults my pals. It's like, I know, just let him off the hook. And Sanji's not even reacting. And then all of a sudden,
yeah,
here comes Lola, who puts the fear of God into Gotti. If you put so much as a scratch on his face, then the Godfather's head will fly from his shoulders. Don't you get it?
And I love the implications here, right? That presumably, well, because it's interesting, because she said that her mom was a pirate. But
yes,
like, I'm also kind of like, with the way that the dynamic is going on here, is she part of the fire tank pirates?
I don't know.
No, I think she is, actually. The way that she says, if you put so much as a scratch on his face, then the Godfather's head will fly from his shoulders. So she's worried about Beiji.
Oh, okay. Oh, I wonder if she's together with Beiji.
She is also looking to get married, right? Like, that was sort of her whole thing. Yeah.
And this seeing her here, for one, is awesome because we love Lola here.
Yes.
Two, I still can't remember how much I've said, but at least it's the character I was thinking of has already appeared. What does it mean? I don't know. But I also like how Sanji's like, I swear there's something real familiar about. So it makes me think that...
but also that's interesting that...
I think my theory has not been gone through yet.
Okay.
as was never said, is my guess based on Sanji's reaction.
Yeah. And it's also interesting that, like, she doesn't seem to recognize him either. True.
She did interact with him most when she was out of her body.
That's also true, yeah. So, there's let Oda cook. there's things going on here.
I'm just glad to have Lola back. I really hope she gets to shine in this arc, because Lola.
Yeah. And that we have, like she kind of bonded with Nami the most out of everybody, and now that we have kind of Nami on the way here,
and Nami is on the way here, that's gonna be fun. But we go to a few days later on the Thousand Sunny. They got that time separation here. It's like, it's all over. Gonna die so
Yes,
hot. And
of
it's
course.
like a heat wave going on. It's like, I'm shriveling up. Sanji, ice cream, food.
Yeah, and they've all got fishing rods. They're trying to find food.
Both Chopper and Pedro are just like, oh God, my first sucks.
Yeah.
And Nami's underneath the shade along with Carrot, who's like, who's also hot, and she hasn't have the energy to smack Brooke for his panties comment.
Yeah, of course.
Oh gosh, the lack of food and inability to fish due to the days of storms. Finally, it's sun again, and we've got to catch some fish before the weather changes again, or else we're gonna starve. And it was like, we'd love to do that, but the water is literally boiling beneath us. We're not gonna get any fish.
We're not even at Whole Cake, and they're already dying. And poor Luffy's just looking at Chopper like emergency food supply, bringing that joke back from like 700 chapters ago.
Desperate times. But Luffy gets a bite and is able to pull up a fish. They have an enormous fish. Oh my God, it's edible. They have a chance to survive. And Chopper's like, okay, I got to look up this fish first. Where's the book of fish? Oh God, it's just full of naked people. Get out of here. Like, I don't need to see this.
Gotta sift through Sanji's porn collection
to find his fish book. Okay,
Jesus.
Here's the important part. Watch out for the skin. There's poison in that kind of fish. So even you look, Sanji included a note, and you get to Luffy. He's like, the skin is great. Try it.
Oh no!
It's like, no, it's gross and slimy.
Sanji's not Sanji. Luffy does have poison resistance, so you would think,
But he is not making out very well because the others properly cook it thanks to Nami following the instructions from Sanji. Makes good food for everybody. Meanwhile, Luffy's on the ground foaming at the mouth.
And we don't have any medicine. We don't have enough medicine. Poor Chopper. He's freaking out and going yum at the same time as he's eating.
And remember how that book said the poison caused instant death? Well, Luffy's still active, so maybe he has some powerful resistance to it. Which, my God, thank God for Impel Down.
Right, yeah. Poor Carrot's like, Luffy, are you gonna die? He's like, I'm fine. I'm looking at the pretty river.
Oh God, he's looking at the river Styx.
This is not a great start for our heroes.
I almost wonder if they're going to use this as an excuse to have Luffy out of commission for a while. Again, I wonder. Of all things, I'm getting Namek vibes out of Whole Cake so far. I did not expect that.
The more I'm thinking about it, the more like it's not incorrect.
Yeah. Well, you have to you want to stay hidden from the big bad villain for things, but you have a mission. You got to find the one thing or a couple things in order to get what you need and then get the heck out of there. Hopefully without a big fight. Your best fighter is out of commission. Yep. Oh man. Actually, was I saying Wano was like Namek? Whole Cake and Wano are both like Namek. Whatever.
They're both like Namek. They're both. It all comes back to Dragon Ball.
Of course. Always comes back to Dragon Ball. Even stuff before Dragon Ball comes back to Dragon Ball.
He's just that good.
Oh gosh. But apparently, according to Peckham's Blackleg, Sanji should already be at the island. So we're about to get up to the territory any moment now. And sure enough, they've reached the territory and it's starting to rain or snow the sugar. And the cotton candy, and Chopper's immediately like,
and of course, Chopper's
candy.
Like, candy, yes, of course. Yeah, and it's interesting, we have, I think, Tamago was explaining this a little bit earlier, but we have sea slugs that send out, like, signals to the transponder snails on the ship that basically act as, like, intercepting warning signals. So that's sort of like your alert, like, you're in Big Mom's territory now, and Peckham's is like, go hide or get into disguise.
Yeah, and nobody's really paying attention to him, but that's when I think it's Pedro up there says, I see something ahead, Peckham's. It's like, oh, damn, already? That'll be our Tart scout ship. I'll handle this. You all stay quiet. And the Chopper's just like, I hope they have antidotes. And instead, it's not one of Big Mom's ships. It's one of Germa 66's ships. We identify as the ship of this. We identify this as the ship of the Straw Hat crew, and their ship looks like a giant transponder snail.
It does, yeah.
Which has some wild implications about wiretapping and how much Germa 66 knows. Like, no, that's not. That might be a problem.
And as of course our last little zinger for this set, we see somebody on the ship who clearly looks like Sanji, wearing sunglasses and a hood. But we already know that Sanji's on Big Mom's ship, so that's not Sanji.
Yeah, that's not Sanji. They have the curly brow, so that is. We have a Sanji relative. Whether it's a brother or father, we'll find out. But I'm gonna say right now, brother, because you mentioned that his name means third son. So I think it's time to meet. I think we're gonna at least meet two brothers in this. So that should be interesting. But also,
interesting place to. We're stopping at an interesting place.
Yeah, it seems like the perfect spot to stop, where it's the transition, like, to leave Zoe and begin Whole Cake.
Whole Cake.
And all the other stuff going on otherwise.
Yeah, let alone all the Reverie and all that.
It does lead to the question: if Sanji is the third son, why is his marriage? Why does he have to be the one to marry into the Charlotte family?
That is actually a really good question, and I think you're going to. Well, there's an answer. I was about to say.
I'm going to guess. My guess is that they're already married to other people. Like, that's just how Germa kind of spreads their power. But that's
yeah,
the only
and
thing
it
I
is
really have to go off of.
It is really interesting that it's a little bit like, why now, right? I think is kind of the question. Is if their family, if Sanji's family like has this level of infamy. What is it about, like, okay, now we need you to go have this political marriage. So, like, there's clearly, and even Sanji's kind of catching on to, like, you need me alive, you need me for this, like, you can't hurt me. So, this marriage, as much as he's being forced into it and threatened into it, they want it to happen for a reason.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to next week. To see what we start learning. Because this is the beginning of a new arc, so we're gonna start we're gonna get pieces of information. It's time to learn what the island's all about. Time to learn what's going on. What's Big Mom's deal. What's Germa 66's deal. All this stuff we're going to start getting answers for, and I'm excited for that. I love learning new stuff, but also those episodes are long.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I feel like we only have so many of these left in us, as I keep relenting. Like we have like 5 arcs left, so like we only have so many times where we can go to a new place and learn a whole bunch about it. And this really being like our first time in proper Emperor territory. This is not Dressrosa. This is not like a place that is like Doflamingo took over, right? Like this is just straight up Big Mom's territory.
Yeah, this is not a country she rules. This is just her territory.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the kind of situation, right, where it's like, we have to save these people like it's Alabasta or Dressrosa.
There's not going to be a society here.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Yeah.
So
it's again that makes for a lot of really. There's a lot of interesting world building going on here, and we're. The teases, the little bits, the learning about Sanji's family, all that stuff. Like, oh man, I'm excited.
I can't wait. I cannot.
Yeah.
It feels so strange. Like I was already hyped up after Dressrosa, but just to get more and more of this each time.
Right. It doesn't feel like I guess it feels like we're still building off of it, right? Like it feels like, Dressrosa was this really like high point, but it doesn't feel like we're slowing down. It feels like the story is continuing to escalate and continue to get you to ask new questions. Exactly. It's not like things like, we're going to take a little break here with Zoe, which we did. Zoe was a break in the grand scheme of things, but it had a lot. There's enough that just keep you intrigued at all times. In the same way that Jaya kind of did. Long Ring, Long Land, it struggled to do that until the very end. Certainly. There's an art to these sort of transition arcs.
We do have an SBS, but nothing really to talk about. It's just more birthdays. That's all. I like how they come up with the birthdays. It's fun how they manage that.
Japanese is a very malleable language, as we were
really
continuing to learn. Yeah.
My favorite is like with Pell is Falcon is Hayabusa, so Habusa, so 823.
Sure, yeah. You just do that. Numbers are a suggestion in Japanese. You can do whatever.
Another suggestion. That's so funny. Oh God. But yeah, that is our set, and I am. Man.
You thought Dressrosa was good, man, and I kept saying like, oh, I'm a little worried. I hope I didn't overhype it by saying that Dressrosa was kind of like, I think I like everything else better, but like the more that we're kind of getting the pieces of the whole cake, I'm like, no, this arc's actually really great.
Yeah, just the way we have returning characters, we get to see the fun of what Pedro and Carrot will bring to the table.
Yeah. It's cool that we have half of the Straw Hats, but we have these new characters to kind of, come along as well. Kind of like, I guess they're kind of our equivalent of like Law and some of like the gladiators and stuff.
Yeah, that's my guess, and I'm curious how much Carrot is going to stand out, because my God, did I see merch of her?
Oh yeah. No, she is a popular character.
So
without a doubt, she's a popular character.
It'll be fun to see.
I have an inkling you'll probably like Pedro more.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I don't know. I love Pedro. I love Carrot too. As much as I think that she's maybe oversold a little bit, but both are really fun to have around. And of course, let alone. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, it's funny how Pedro is just this a constant presence that you didn't know about, because he actually was able to sneak up on them. And I think again, the fact that he was able to get around observation hockey could be really useful for this infiltration mission.
Yeah, no, and that's also the other thing too, right? Like, this is One Piece as like an infiltration is like not really something we've ever had to deal with. So I do kind of feel like the structure of this arc, as we get into it, I'm wondering if I'll still feel this way, but like based off of my memories, I'm feeling like it's not quite like anything we've seen yet. I feel like structurally it might be the most different.
It all depends on how long the infiltration lasts, because Straw Hats have attempted infiltration so many times and failed and every single time. It never lasts.
Yeah.
So we shall see. I mean, already they've kind of failed. They've been spotted by
that's also true. They're already dying. Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see indeed.
But with that, I believe we've said all we wanted to say about chapters 821 to 825 of One Piece. Thank you so much for listening, and you can find more of my ramblings and stream VODs over at BitNerd Games on YouTube, or simply BitNerd on BlueSky. And Brandon, where can everyone find you at?
I am Brandon Bovia on Twitter and BlueSky, talking about anime, manga, games, and my job, and we're coming up on the summer season of anime. I've not watched anything. I have no idea what's coming out, but by the time you're listening to this, I'll have watched something, probably. And that's my pitch.
Hey, there you go. Oh God, weird to believe that we're already a quarter through all these, but the set of 100. But if you'd like to help us out more, you can support the podcast over at patreon.com/Derrick Bittner. That's DerrickBitner to listen to the next episode ad-free 3 days early, as well as patron-exclusive bonus episodes. And make sure to return next time as we discuss chapters 826 to 830 of One Piece. So until then, my friends, bye.
Remember to take life one piece at a time.
I came prepared. I brought lunch, juice, a snack, and a shirt.
I sense a theme. All carrots but the shirt, huh?
Well, there's one on it too.
Is that a carrot?